What's up, everybody? It's your boy Blaze Horror. Happy Horror Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope with all you people that have been living in the States that got hot this past week, like where I'm at, hope you got through the heat all right. Hope you didn't wind up, getting heat stroke or nothing. I'm sure we have more heat to come, along with some rain. Today's cool, man. It rained pretty good out last night, or yesterday, I should say, if I'm not mistaken. Well, maybe I forgot already. It is Horror Sunday, so anything's possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a video. I'm gonna do like 4 or so videos. This is gonna be chapter 1, and video titles are gonna be Bring It Back to the 80s. This first video is gonna be on 4 horror movies. I'm gonna do at least 4 videos per video, per video part, I should say. Well, let me stop rambling and get started. First one I have, remember these are all 80s. I'm gonna start off with The Exorcist. Classic horror film right there. This is one when I was young, when I was a kid and I watched this, it literally put fear in me. Same thing like the original Nightmare on Elm Street did to me, is the same effect. Give you a little backstory on this. Did a little bit of research, I write it down. So The Exorcist came out in 1973, December 26th. So that's a trip in itself. It came out in Exorcist came out in 1973 on December, I believe, yep, December 26th, the day after Halloween. I want to do probably like a standalone video for The Exorcist, and I'm going to do some back research, being that this movie did come out the day after Christmas in 1973. I wonder if any churches, or if there was what the backlash was like. So I'm gonna put together a video on that, because I remember when the other slasher classic came out, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original. The churches got together and they kind of like ruined it at the box office, pushed it out. But no, this one stayed in the theaters. I want to see if there was any kind of backlash and what multitude of that backlash there was for this film, being that it came out the day after Christmas, which is I did not know that little fact. They show you the disc. Got the Linda Blair, classic horror actress, I should say. Alright, we're gonna move on to the next one. We got Creepshow, came out in 1982. Now we do a little back story on this, but everybody's pretty much, if you're a horror fan, you know all about it. There was a successful sequel, and I'm going to stop right there with the sequels. To me, there's only 1 and 2 Creepshow. The television series is another fun ride through the Creepshow storytellers, I should say. So if you haven't seen that series yet, and I just dropped the disc. It must be Horror Sunday, huh? Discombobulating. You just got a clear basic disc. No image on the disc itself. But they didn't leave us empty-handed, because they gave us a nice shot. Stephen King's character in one of the stories in Creepshow, the Meteor. That's one of my favorite episodes. Oh man, Stephen King to me is a classic in every way, not just in his movies and in his books. He's just a straight up, he's the man. Uh-oh. See, I always put like this extra cardboard stuff in here, and you can't quite you want to close it, but it don't want to close right. Alright, so next up we have another classic. We have Poltergeist, which came out the same year as Creepshow, 1982. Maybe I'll turn this light up a little bit. That made a difference. Gave me a nice little glare. It's another classic. I think out of all the Poltergeist movies, I'm a huge fan of the original, and I think 10 times out of 10 throughout the years, I've only been watching this one. I like the third one, but the third one is kind of like, I mean, I didn't know the little girl. Personally, the actress, but to me, it's like a sad ending to her overall life. When I watch that movie, it's like every scene for me is like, you know, that little girl. Or like I felt like it was just put in my face the whole movie, even though that's not what the director did or anything like that. It was just a hard film, which is a classic. A classic little horror actress right there. And then fourth up, we have The Shining, which came out in 1980. It's one of the forefathers of those, I should say. Gearing us up with some really good horror. That's another thing. When the 80s started, man, the 80s horror, once that kicked in, it just flowed through the whole era. But then we wound it up. I know it felt like we skipped an era of like horror, like a horror genre in movies and so forth. But now it's back full force, and I'm pretty excited about it. Let's keep the media coming, though. I always question, will I still be a solid horror fan like I am now and grown into be after all the media throughout the years, VHS and so forth, DVD, Blu-ray, film itself. And I always think, man, if they slow down on the horror again, like they did, it might kill physical media as far as horror goes. So I think as horror fans, the reality is horror movies, toys, other popular in the horror genre world, and especially media, whether it be VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. I think me as a horror fan, I would take a major hit if the physical media would slow down and stop being put out after a while. I mean, where would I go from there as a horror fan? I mean, long story short, I think what I'm trying to say is like CHH, Christian Hannah Hart, always says, let's keep putting in work to keep physical media alive. Because it's so cool. I mean, we could go online and stuff, but to have something physical in your hand, piece of reality, of horror, the physical, the images. I mean, granted, some images are okay, but the whole fact behind physical media, it's really important to us horror fans. So let's just keep supporting it and keep having it pumped out, so we don't come upon that time in our lives where there's really nothing left as far as like physical media. Very important physical media. So on that note, thank you for tuning in. I got another video in the works, and like I always say, I'm a big movie fan. So the next part 2 of this video is more likely going to be 80s comedy, teens, Breakfast Club, and some other classics. And then I'm going to go into the 80s action, and I'm going to do 80s drama and 80s gangster. And just have a good time with it. Share my thoughts on all those films, and share my thoughts on the 80s, being I'm an 80s kid myself, growing up in the 80s. But once again, feel free to like and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you get the other chapters, notified about the other chapters of this series. And I'll be back at you again later on with more Horror with Blaze.